name is Mark, and that is what we're doing. We're doing it every week. We have been doing it for two and a half years, and every week we talk about something new. And the biggest thing is that there is something new. Every week there is an enormous amount of news that you wouldn't even believe that there is so much new information. But yes, it is true. Now, many people who come here, they ask one first question is, I want to learn about AI, where should I start? For that, there is this link. I call it Learning Path. I will open that, and you will see that it essentially consists all those things we were talking about. Okay, starting from, some of them have numbers, but at least we have about what? About 87. And amazing thing, they don't overlap. They are all about different things. If you are into doing something with this AI, then I would say all of them are important. And if you are not sure, just start from the beginning. And that, after 2 or 3 courses, will take you very far. How do you take these courses? Well, here is the link to the course. What do? I run that, then I download the software, install the software, and that's here on the right. So let me move it just a little bit, and that will be in my repository. So any one of those repositories is here, and the latest about windsurf is an example right here, so you can click on that. That's also open. Well, I said I'll open it. I should copy and open that here. It will be in my repository. So those in my repositories, we work on them. Gradually, they become more and more manageable here. And then we even have this who worked on it and who approved it. So we are working on that because when you watch the show, it's a nice show, always interesting. Now, when you have to do it, then you go to your repository, clone that repository, perhaps. And that's what we're doing. Now, what is different with me as opposed to other more fun and more interesting shows, and I watch the other shows I know that are more interesting and more fun, but I do it. I really tried. So whatever here we have to today, that's what I have tried. And with that, we're ready to go. Okay. Let's see. What did you say? Where are you from? Nobody said anything. I know where some of you are from, but in any case, that establish just a little bit. Okay. But I understand you hear me okay, and you probably see the screen. Share in London. That's wonderful. Okay. Okay. So let us start. In no particular order. First of all, ChatGPT just came out yesterday, came out with a preview of what they are going to release. I thank you, San Diego, Boulder, and Texas. They announced a new version of ChatGPT. So I ran there. That's the announcement. That's what we were going to read. But I also opened my account. So you go to chat.com today, that's where you go. You verify which account you are running. I'm running 2 different ones here. That one is a subscription, something like $20 a month. So I prefer to be in this one rather than my personal, which I just try to keep daily questions separate from business, even though business is more powerful. But maybe I'll share something with you. This morning I woke up and lo and behold, my Ubuntu stopped working. And not only it stopped working, it's not even booting. It's giving me this screen. There you are. That's the screen I got. So usually I panic, don't know what to do, and reinstall my Ubuntu. And that's not a happy process because it takes about 2-3 hours. I keep all the other stuff on a different mounted drive. So I don't lose too much, but at least I lose all the installs that part of the operating system. So what I did, I just asked what to do, and it gave me advice. And advice number 3 already worked. I did the update, but it told me how to get through this. So that's nice. It's just a personal episode. But then I went to my account. I'm in a business account, and I did not see this new thing, not even here. Okay, so 545 is not here yet. Nevertheless, it will be, I'm sure. And so it was interesting to read what exactly it can do. And it seems to be more powerful, more expensive model. They give here the what exactly is more powerful. So it's thinking deeper. That's now an accepted term that they think deeper and deeper, and they are waiting for us to create applications. Blog post is that's where they're introducing it, and you can read it if you want. If you want to see it now, of course, they are smarter. Higher is better, and here is low is better, and on and on. So it beats all other models, beats them in price as well. Okay, so if you want to go deeper, then that link will give you everything. But for now, it's just a note. Another interesting thing is windsurf. So windsurf, I'll give you a demo. I'll give you a demo because windsurf is an IDE that is designed to be an AI IDE. It's exactly the tool that you would want to have, or at least the claim is it is exactly the tool that you would want to have when you're building AI apps. So I use a few other tools. I use PyCharm. I use for IntelliJ, and AI was built into these things later. My personal experience with IntelliJ is that at first it wasn't any good at all. Sorry. But then it became better and better, and I had very good experience with it. Kind of this. I'm saying, well, write me the code to count the number of entries in a zip file. I may have mentioned that already before. It wrote the code. It used a how do we call it, singleton. And I asked, why did you choose singleton and why did you not do the static functions? You could do that. And we discussed that. So it was very useful. But after all, it was an addition to the existing platform. That's how most people take it. Well, Windsurf is built from the beginning with the idea that today we're in the AI age. So why shouldn't you be smarter than that? I will start with a couple slides, but you don't really need them. They are just kind of a reminder. So here are the slides. Okay, about windsurf, and be very nice. Let us start from full screen. So their mission. It turns out that their full name is Codeium. Okay, so for coders, and the idea right here, it says where for everyone, of course we want everybody as a client, but we let everyone just say, hey, build me a game, and it will do it. They also claim that they allow to look through the complete project and understand the project, and so you can invite a pair programmer who will be current in your complete code base. That is the claim. Okay, so if you do that, you go there and install it. The install is very easy. That is already installed application. And you start with say, well, create a snake game with a JavaScript and HTML. Okay, so I'm not showing you how exactly I installed it because that's very easy. Even I could do it. Therefore, let's start. Now I'm on Ubuntu, so I can hit this key and then look for windsurf, and there you are. This is windsurf. So let us start that. Okay, starts a Windsor. It seems to be based on VS Code, and they say that if you already have VS Code, then we will import your settings. I didn't have, I think, VS Code, so I just started. And here is the cascade. So they say that if you don't see cascade, the Control L will hide it and Control L will reveal it. But we see cascade and we are not going to experiment with hiding it. Who knows what we'll have instead? I had some past conversation trying exactly what they did, so I'll do the same conversation again. I will say create a snake game. Do it in JavaScript, that will be the active part, and HTML, that will be the display. All right, you see, it begins typing. I'll help you to create a classic snake game. It knows a lot, so it knows what is a classic snake game. I personally didn't quite know, so I'll tell you what problem I had there, but it is thinking through and it says, I will do all of that, okay? Then it says, you know what, I know what you did already because you experimented with that, okay? So would you like to start a new one? I think somewhere it says, would you like to start a new one? Or would you like to open the previous one? Well, if I start the new one, it will be the same bunch of code. So I will say, open the previous one. Where does it say it? No, why don't we start a new one? That will be more fun. Okay, start a new game. And I misspell freely, it understands. No, I don't mean the typing exercise. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, open my old game. Open previous snake game. Open the project. It understands what I mean. I mean, open the project. So it says it's already there. It will have an index to display. It will have a game itself that's also open. Well, would you like to make any changes? No, I'll just show you what I've done. So start the game. It says that's what I will do. Okay, I say okay. It opens it. Now, this welcome screen wasn't there at first, but I just couldn't understand the game. You guys probably are familiar with the snake game. I was not. It said, okay, no worries. I will add the first screen. It does add that. Now starts the game. Now, it turns out that the game is I need to manipulate this green thing that it will eat the red thing. A red thing initially was a square, so I said, make it an apple. It made it an apple. Then I said too fast, so it made it slower. Then I said, make a little explosion. By now you will see that I need to keep moving it, okay? And it only moves correctly. Okay, game over, I missed. How do I start? Well, just any key will start. Let me try to win at least once. No way, okay? I'll try once again. If I lose, I lose. That's it. Okay, I'm not trying, but let's say I want something else. So go back and tell it, make it a cucumber instead of an apple. Okay, no problem with the cucumber. So it regenerates that. I say, yeah, It opens it again, and now we should have a cucumber. All right, let's start. This, okay, but now at least I understand how the game should work. Okay, great. So that's the ID, and if you say something, I will probably see it on the chat. I wonder if anybody has played with that kind of ID where it just does more than the regular ID. I looked in the videos, and yeah, there were videos on YouTube 3 months ago. They started, and they have a competitor, and the competitor is called, well, I can't remember all the names, but instead I always do the same thing. ChatGPT will help me. Etc. of wind surf. And I misspell again. That's okay, it will understand. Cursor. Cursor is the one which built on something else. Well, I think that's enough. Yes, I will. My plan is to use it more. My plan is it promises that it will understand my code base. Well, very well and good. I'm going to give it my current project that I promised to release in about, I said March 13, I think. Well, let's see how successful I am. That's my AI platform that I'm planning, and right now I'm adding a very fast processing engine. Well, obviously it will touch on every part of my existing code. In fact, it's right here, it's 100 files. I'll report about how it will fare here. Okay, so as we go, I can do this. I can prepare for our next week, and our next week will be March 7th, okay, here, and I'll tell you about windsurf and my experience using it on a larger project. And that's why I'm really thankful and grateful to all guys who come, guys and girls, because that forces me to be ready for the next week and do something. Then I have two more items, and let me do this. Let me change the pace. Andrew Ng talks about agentic document extraction. He will explain to you much better than I, and we'll switch to that right now. I only want to mention that the problem that he is solving is exactly the problem that I'm solving, and it's about form processing. I already mentioned a few times that we have our own form processing. Let me give that to you. So it's super secret FBI forms, but the code and talking about them is not secret at all. Just don't show the names of the people. So we have by now a very well developed solution. It's called RAP for the name of the RAP form. And I like to show people what kind of prompt we do right now. Our prompt tells AI every detail that I need to tell it how to decode that form. Well, it's much, much better than regular expressions, yes. And by now it has 21 steps and some examples. But Andrew promises something much more and much better than this. Even that, somebody's. Can I share the link to the Word document? Shri, yes, of course. The Word document is first and foremost this one. Okay, because from that you can go anywhere. Okay, Do you mean that as the word document? Because from here you see everything else. Yeah, exactly. I think it's your picture. Okay, but Andrew Ng is going to tell us something very interesting about agentic document extraction. And I think agentic is just added for fun. It's really document extraction. Now, to show it to you, I will have to stop share and share again. But this time I will click and share the sound, and you will hear what I will hear. There you are, and we were going to share. Let's close all the old things. And here's Andrew. Well, go to it, you.
Announcing agentic document extraction. This be useful to anyone building systems that handle documents like PDF files. Traditional approaches to computers understanding documents are based on optical character recognition or OCR or other PDF to text conversion methods which mainly focus on extracting out the text. The problem with these approaches is that rather than just containing text, documents are fundamentally a visual representation of information. For example, if you upload a medical form, most OCR-based approaches won't be able to recognize checkboxes and document layout. Agentic document extraction captures all these important details, including the different input fields and tables and checkboxes, and provides accurate descriptions for these elements based on their visual layout. Or if you're a researcher working with flowcharts, you need to capture not just the text in the boxes, but also the arrows showing how the steps connect. Agentic document extraction can summarize images and extract details from flowcharts and diagrams. Or many financial documents have the key information presented in charts and tables. If you want accurate answers based on these documents, most existing tools won't understand these visual features and may give an incorrect, maybe partial, or even hallucinated answer. Agentic document extraction can extract the relevant information from these visual representations so they can analyze the data they contain. Using an agentic approach to document extraction means that you can take a document, break it down to the individual component pieces, and use reasoning to examine and connect the components. This takes into account the document layout, which is one of the ways that the document writer conveys meaning and other visual elements, as opposed to only the text. If you look at pretty much any PDF on your laptop, my guess is there'll almost certainly be visual elements in it that go beyond the text in how it represents information. Now, for many documents, the traditional OCR-based approaches might get things, I don't know, say 70–80% right, which might actually be okay for many applications. But if you want a higher level of accuracy in understanding form fields and graphs and the charts and the checkboxes and other visual presentations of information, then agentic document extraction does much better. Another important capability to build trust and not just have a 80% accurate system where we just hope is good enough is visual grounding. Our API returns the precise location of visual elements and text in the document, which is very useful when you want to verify an answer by seeing exactly where the information came from in the source document. So please check out agentic document extraction and let me know how you use it for your documents.
Okay, a little comment. So the numbers that Android announces are pretty much the same again. With all the technology, and even with Microsoft Intelligence Studio, you are at 80%, and however much you work, you cannot go higher. They tell you from experience. But at 80%, it's infuriatingly bad. Just like translation, when it was at 80% the accuracy, you still needed to read the whole thing and do it yourself. On the one hand, that's correct. On the other hand, we already use AI for that, and it works better. Now, what Andrew says is even better, but it works pretty well. And in fact, you can go to ChatGPT, drop any form that you want in there. I think I can do it. So let's go back to Chat and find any business form. So let's go find any business form. Business form. Okay. like that, right? So give me something like that. And what I can do is very simply make a screenshot. After I give it a screenshot, it will be a complete non-readable format. Then I can give it to ChatGPT right here and just ask what is it and what elements does it have. Okay, you see, it gets it. It gets OCR, it's very smart. And still, I think Andrew is doing something better. Now, again, a little caveat, it will not work for me because I'm not allowed to send rep forms that are FBI protected documents uh, to anyone, not Andrew Ng, with all the respect. But I'll tell you just how it works. That's my plan, and therefore, in our advanced, first we said that we will do the windsurf deeper. Then I will promise you this, right? It in well, a real project or in practice, let's say this. That's next time, but this time we already did agentic document extraction, and now I can look at the comments here. Paul, who I know Paul, he works with exactly these same kinds of problems. And it's very interesting what he will say. OLM from Allen AI is a new model for layout sensitive extraction. It is mostly focused on scientific papers, not text form. It's open source. Super important. Let's do this. Let's take that, copy that, and works on PDF and images. And today there's so much work for everybody to do. So many interesting things that there will be a place for every technology. And I'm going back here and I'm saying it will be. All right, thank you, Paul. Now, the next piece of news is about quantum computing. Now, quantum computing is very exciting in the sense that it's mystical and touches on the real nature of things. But Richard Feynman, I believe, when did Feynman invent quantum computing? Let's say, chat, when did Feynman invent quantum computing? Okay, 81. But the major idea was that computers are not it. They cannot really imitate nature. So what if we make them really work? And then came Peter Shor, who invented the first real algorithm, and David Deutsch. But none of that is real today. There are no applications. And that's because, closing that, we need, I believe, 1 million qubits. Qubits is instead of bit. That's what in our computers bits, and in the quantum computing there's a qubits. They are built on elementary particles or something like that, on photons. So it's quite amazing why it all works, but the fact that it does, and many companies invest billions, that's what convinced me. I know that when you go to IBM Cloud and start your program, then you're paying $3 per second, I believe. So that's real. But I still believe there are no practical applications. And now comes the new Microsoft announcement about quantum computing. So let's open that. What exactly they say, that's what I'm discussing now. What they say is that they invented new kind of chip. Okay, we understand that. We also see a very interesting name. The name is amazing. So first of all, the name. There was a physicist in the 30s. He invented this idea of a special kind of new particle. Therefore, it got called after his name. Now, how do you pronounce his name? The Italians will pronounce it Majorana, and I checked that they call his name Ettore Majorana. But the very first podcast, the American podcast, they call him Majorana, and I suspect everybody will call him just Majorana because that's what it is. So this is a special particle that is not a specific particle. There can be a few different particles that will be classified as Majorana particle. There will be something special about them, and they have physical properties. For example, it can be, or it is, its own antimatter. If you remember antimatter, when it meets the real matter, they collapse. But when this particle, which acts as its own antiparticle, exists, then it exists, but that's only the first property. It has some other properties. They also, so Microsoft says, we have this material. We created the material that will go into the new chips. Well, what's another problem with quantum computing is that it needs many qubits. Now we are in the thousands. IBM has a computer which is about 4,000. What we need is a million. And there is a big step. Why is it such a big step? Just make those millions. Well, that's because it becomes noisy. Since these particles are not small, not our regular chips, which don't have that noise. And if they become smaller, they also get into that noise or they melt. So that is a problem. But in quantum computing, it's more of a problem. And it becomes so noisy that it doesn't compute. Well, what they say is this new material is controllable noise. They also use very enticing names like topological core, and that really is called topological neuron. Topological, not neuron, no, topological qubit. Okay, so well, most important for today is that it still is a breakthrough that will only come to become a quantum computer. Today, the estimate that we are still 10 or 20 years away from a quantum real computer, which will be able to break like encryption. HTTPS will be broken when that exists. Now, the Microsoft promise is that it's years, not 10 and not 20 years. It's still they're very careful to say it in many places that it's only a road to the computer, not a real computer. And it seems like they want to generate publicity. I noticed also that they generated a little publicity and felt that was not enough because the newspapers picked it up, but so what? So I just saw in the Twitter that CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, he advertises it on his own Twitter. So must be that they want just a bit more publicity. That's how much I know for now. But that is because I just got his tweet. So let us do this. When I get more, I'll tell you more. And that will be right here. Here. And so we should be back. We should be back to this computing, but a little bit more in depth, because right now I didn't tell you much. More in depth. So, okay, we covered what I wanted to cover, and we also have a plan for the next week. Now I will be silent for a few seconds so that you will get a chance to chat and ask any questions. All right, no questions, and that's a pity because I really value your comments. Well, I can interpret it as I was clear enough, and I was really thinking about you so that I would have my point coming across, and in that, maybe I succeeded. Well, either way, I wish everyone a great Friday. Okay, no, Tom, it's a great question. Agentic document instruction seems to be one of the money-making enterprises by Andrew Ng. So if you want, we can exchange ideas on that. You know, my email is this markets.ai. So mini whatever we do, maybe we can exchange it together. But that's not free, but not expensive. That's what I noticed. Everybody prices their AI. It's in the cents or dollars per million. So for all practical users, I'll give you one practical example. I have to process 3,700, okay, almost 400, no, 4,000, almost 4,000 forms, those same rep forms API, and I needed to get an estimate before I start. So the estimate came out to be $1,300. So $1,300 for 4,000 forms, you're probably talking about some real serious project. Some project that probably will have no problem paying $1,000 because who in the world would just read those forms, convert them to anything? That must be some real need. So my feeling from practical experience is that yes, it is not free, but probably there is a free layer, and it's worth its money compared to how it would be. That's what I think. All right, everybody have done a good weekend and a good year. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Be well.